Hello, welcome in. This is Miss Alice Art. I am going to be doing this week's energetic visual reading. This is a painting I did to forecast this week's energy. Okay, so on to the tone of the painting. The tone of the painting for this week is going to be dictated by the color palette. The color palette for this painting was orange, teal, and a light magenta. These colors are very close to the primary colors, but just slightly off. So that creates this off-kilter feeling to the week. We're not really dealing with anything new and surprising, but overall you have what you need to work through this energy during the week. So when we look at this painting, it's going to be read left to right. Early in the week to later in the week is going to be traversing through the painting. There are 3 distinct change-ups. So we'll talk about those 3 distinct change-ups and the transition between those. We will start with the left side, and that is this orange section here. It is almost like 2 waves of energy. They are going to be back to back, and they are very fire energy, but they are not going to be huge disruptions, but they are going to be disruptions. Can be triggering depending on how you have dealt with certain situations in the past. If this is a similar situation, it's going to either hit hard or soft. So that's going to depend on where you are with the emotions coming forward with this type of trigger. Now, I want to mention that a wave hitting you harder or softer is not a judgment of your success or failure. It is just indicating if there is going to be a more emotional pushback from this wave. But again, I don't see these being large disruptions, more like frustrations or a little bit of an upset. The pink and blue in this first wave section is going to be the emotions after this disruption. So the magenta is going to be a little bit more of the emotional side, the upset, maybe some reactivity, some frustrations, anger, while the blue is going to be maybe an indication of a pause, some patience, some calm, some like processing of your emotions as well. There is this temptation with this wave to have kind of a react first, process think later. There is the possibility of a little bit of a social misstep that may have some regret of that action. But there is also this potential for being able to act with awareness as well and not having regret about it. So just a note, there is no right or wrong. Each situation is going to give you a chance to learn something more about yourself and those around you. Overall, this is a tricky energy to traverse. The second wave of energy is going to be this deep blue that we see. It is very much a water energy, and it's quite deep. This is going to give a calming, slightly numbing. I got minty when I was looking into this. Very cooling. It can heal the burn if you allow it. There's also movement involved in this portion of the painting. That also means that movement is going to be a way to, process through some of any of the upset that may have occurred previously. So, dancing, walking, basically letting that energy move through and out. But definitely a time to take care of yourself, just kind of reevaluate and rest. There is some caution here of if you try to fight against the current, against this energy, it will cause you some more upset. So go with the flow. It's a good time to process, to rest, to reevaluate and regroup. All right, and then we move to the last section of our painting, which is another orange section. A slightly different tone to it. It is a little bit lighter, a little bit more yellowy with it being lighter. This is more of a crackling energy, so it's more electric than fire. And so there's crackling, lightning, a spark, another triggering situation potentially, but it's very energetic. There is multiple paths through this, and you can see that visually in the painting. So we'll start up at the top of the painting, which there is basically a thinner line of this wave. And you're going to see that has the orange, and then there's some magenta and some blue there. So basically a smaller upset. It's an echo of the energies before. With some knowledge from midweek to help you through, you'll be able to process through this and navigate through it easier than previously, and gain some solace. So still potentially upsetting, but there's some solace and healing that goes into it. Further down is going to be the middle. This is where the brunt of this energy is. So it's going to be probably more upsetting than earlier in the week, and if you're further up on the painting. But this energy is different, where it can also be more energizing. This whole section can be more energizing, but it can be also used beneficially for change. The light orange is very awakening, energizing. So depending on your awareness and intentions going into this portion of the week, it will either hinder or help. So the next path would actually be, there is a little bit of almost a river that goes through the yellow path, this orangey yellow path. That is from the midweek energy. So that is going to be dependent on how you traverse that water energy. You may be able to just fully avoid this wave and kind of work past it and continue with a calm rest of your week. Then there's this bottom of the painting section that is a little bit more horizontal. Again, it still has that same energy and energizing, awakening energy there, but there is a caution there. Avoidance will only extend this energy. A spark can both energize and burn. So overall, the advice for traversing this orange section, this orange wave, is going to be grounding. Grounding is going to help through the electricity. So last thoughts for this week is going to be just to make sure you check in with yourself. Make sure you take advantage of that blue energy while we're in it, and try to give yourself grace and others grace. Please comment and like below. Please tell me if you got any reading off this painting. I'd love to hear what you think, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to subscribe, I will be making more of these in the future. Another fun thing you can do in the comments is I burned an incense during this reading. So use your senses and comment down below what you think the smell of this incense was. I hope to see you all again. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.